I am happy to announce that this video is going to be the first of a series on the channel called Meta in the Making. In this series, I'm going to be going over lesser known decks that either, with one more good piece of support, a good ban list, or enough people picking it up, could become a tiered deck. The first deck that I'm going to be covering in this series is Kozmo Dragon Link, and I'd like to thank Servine for recommending this deck to me. I was very hesitant of this deck at first, but it hits all of the check marks that I look for when trying to determine if a combo deck is competitively viable. This deck has very effective 2-card combos. It can play around hand traps very well. Its boards can be very difficult for back row decks to handle. It can play around Dark Ruler and Mystic Mine. And most importantly, it is consistent. Not as much so as regular Dragon Link, but what you do lose in consistency, you gain back in other areas, including a random factor. Your opponent simply just is not going to know how to play against your deck. You also might be surprised to hear that Kozmo and Dragon Link actually have a lot of synergy, especially once we get to Burst of Destiny. The cards in this set are the primary reason why this deck is capable of functioning the way that it does. So I have 4 combos that I'm going to be showing in this video, including a simple way to play around hand traps and a full opening hand that allows you to end on 3 interruptions even after your opponent resolves Dark Ruler. So our first combo here is going to be our bread and butter 2-card combo. A lot of our combos after this are going to be either built on this or a variation of this combo. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be destroying our own Kozmo town with Rocket Tracer. This is going to allow us to search any Kozmo card and summon our Rocket Caliber. Now Rocket Caliber is one of the most important cards in this deck. This card can special summon itself to a zone a Dark Link monster points to, but most importantly, you can tribute it on field in order to summon a Dark, Dragon, or Machine monster from your hand. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be searching Dark Destroyer, special summoning Dark Destroyer using Caliber's effect, then destroying Dark Destroyer with its own effect. From there, we're going to special summon Strawman and start looping Strawman's effect. The goal here is just to continually destroy our own Dark Destroyer as many times as we can in order to continually get monsters on board in order to use them as link material. Ultimately, what we're looking to do here is we're looking to end on a Boral Sword Dragon, a Kozmo ship, and a Rocket Tracer. This may not seem like a very good board, but keep in mind Rocket Tracer can use its effect on the opponent's turn. So what we're looking to do is we're looking to destroy our Kozmo ship at the correct time in order to float into both a Kozmo Dark Lady and a Magna Rocket Dragon. This will give us effect negation in the form of Dark Lady, non-targeting, non-destruction removal via Magna Rocket Dragon, and our opponent is going to have to deal with Boral Sword Dragon or it's going to be a threat next turn. Additionally, during the end phase, Magna Rocket Dragon will float into an additional Rocket Tracer, giving us immediate follow-up on the next turn. Our next combo is a variation on the first combo if you choose to play the Destiny Fusion package. Now, I personally like the package quite a bit, but there is a little bit of a problem with it. If you use Destiny Fusion or Predaplant Verte Anaconda, your Kozmo ships that are summoned off of Strawman aren't going to float during the end phase if they are destroyed, so keep that in mind whenever using this card in this deck. However, I do find Destroy Phoenix Enforcer to be very valuable in the deck, not only because it can destroy your Kozmo ships and give you free advantage, but also because it is a very easy card to pivot into if you get interrupted at a particularly devastating point in your combos. I also think this board is a good option to have, since it's a bit better against back row decks. For example, Destroy Phoenix Enforcer immediately gives you an out to Mystic Mine if your opponent tries to activate it. This board also just blows through back row a lot easier, since Destroy Phoenix Enforcer will get to destroy stuff on both your turn and your opponent's turn, and you can float into Slip Riders whenever you want. Additionally, this board is really good for grind games. This deck is already very strong at grind games, but having the addition of the Destiny Hero package to get you a free draw 2 and a monster that just keeps recycling itself is really, really good to have. For our third replay here, I have a very simple way to play around hand traps. Now to do this combo, all you need is a level 6 or higher Kozmo ship in hand and a way to get Boral Load Riot Dragon to the graveyard. If you don't know what Boral Load Riot Dragon is, it is a ritual monster that we're never going to summon. Instead, we're going to be using its grave effect. What it does is it allows us to add a Rocket or Boral card in our graveyard back to hand, including itself, and then it destroys one monster on our field or hand. In this case, we're just going to be destroying our own Kozmo ship and summoning out Dark Lady. Doing this will allow us to play around any singular hand trap besides Infinite Impermanence, because Infinite Impermanence is a trap card and Kozmo Dark Lady only negates monster effects. From here, we're pretty much just free to combo like you would in regular rockets, without the fear of any singular hand trap. I would play a little bit safe if you can though, since you can only negate one monster effect, just in case your opponent happens to have multiple hand traps or has an Infinite Impermanence that they just happen to be saving. Additionally, you'll find a lot of success with this deck if you have a little bit of experience with Dragon Link, or you know how the deck runs already. A lot of the time, you need to do something like this in order to ensure that your plays can go through, so you need to rely on a lot of the initial combos that you would need to know to run Dragon Link. To put it simply, you're a lot less likely to brick on the Dragon Link stuff than you are to brick on the Kozmo stuff. That's why we try and minimize the Kozmo engine as much as possible and play so many 1-ofs, because we don't necessarily want to see them. We want to keep them in deck. So knowing those simple 1 or 2 card combos and interactions with Dragon Link is very helpful long term while playing this deck. Our next replay is going to be an example of what an optimal opening hand looks like. In general, any hand where you can get to Hieratic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres as early as possible while still being able to use a Rocket Tracer is going to be a pretty good hand. Heavenly Spheres is one of the best cards you can end on in order to solidify your board. Additionally, it lets you play around Nibiru. If your opponent Nibiru's your board, it will trigger your spheres and allow you to summon a Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon from deck. This way, worst case scenario, you bring back a dragon from your graveyard, make a Predaplant Verte Anaconda, and still end on your Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. Additionally, we started with Dark Destroyer in hand, as well as a Kozmo Town. So when we destroy our Kozmo Town, rather than searching a Dark Destroyer, we're able to search Kozmojo. This is a really good form of interruption that allows us to destroy one of our Kozmo ships, floating down into either another Kozmo ship or a Dark Lady, and allows us to non-targeting banish a card our opponent controls. This hand gave us 5 interruptions, but importantly, if our opponent uses Dark Ruler no more, we still have 3 of those interruptions that are online, as well as follow-up ready for next turn. Now obviously we can use Kozmojo because Kozmojo is a trap, but we still have a play with Heavenly Spheres. Even though its effects are negated, it does send itself to grave for cost. So, its effect will trigger and we will be able to summon a Tracer from deck. Then we can use that Tracer to not only destroy our Kozmo ship and float into a Dark Lady, but also summon our Magna Rocket Dragon. Our Borrelsword Dragon's effects are still negated, but it can attempt to use its effect, and that's all that we need in order to trigger our Magna Rocket Dragon. So between Kozmojo, Dark Lady, and Magna Rocket Dragon, we have 3 interruptions that we can use, even though our opponent Dark Rulered us. Back on our turn, we can easily go ahead and OTK our opponent, and if they did happen to break our board, we still have the Boot Sector launch in hand and the Magna Rocket effect in grave, so it's not going to be hard to go ahead and rebound after this. Here is a sample deck list if you want to try out this deck. I would highly recommend it. I've personally already picked up all the Kozmo cards to run this myself whenever Birth of Destiny does come out. I also included some different options in the side deck if you want to try out some different stuff. In particular, I'd like to point to Boral End Dragon, as this card will probably go into the deck whenever it comes out. I left it out though because we really don't know when we're going to be getting it or how we're going to be getting it. I would also highly recommend playing Radion the Multidimensional Kaiju, as it's really good this format, and if you choose to play Allure of Darkness, it has a lot of synergy with the deck. Also, definitely side Kozmo Dark Eclipser and Kozmo Good Witch. Dark Eclipser is really good against trap-heavy decks, and Good Witch allows you to have a very easy out to Winda and other Floodgate-like monsters like that. I would also, once again, like to thank Servine for recommending this deck. He has a lot of replays over on his channel with this deck if you want to see more of this deck in action. And finally, if you have any suggestions for decks that you think should be in the Meta in the Making series, I'll leave a link in the description down below for my Discord. You can leave some suggestions down in the Meta in the Making tag there.